sort of had prearranged.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I wonder if I'd be considered a co-conspirator if I was there.
Okay. Oh, the judge already made that determination.
S-A-N-D-E-L-E-M-U-S.
Okay, so if you could, just your reaction.
I'm a little incredulous right now, and I'm really not going to talk all that much about it right now because I have to internalize it and ruminate a little bit about what just happened and get over the shock of it. You know, I mean, he was given a sentence even longer than the sentence that had originally been recommended by the prosecution. So I'm a little shocked, and I'm sure we'll get through this and get over it, and we're not going to stop with the council, and I think we may appeal. I don't know what we're going to do right at this point, and until I know for sure, I really don't want to say anything.
Yeah, and you had a lot of supporters here. Where are they from? And you yourself had to travel with.
Yes, I had a friend travel with me all the way from New Hampshire. And I have many people. It's funny. I've gotten so many messages from people all over the United States today, from the East Coast to the West Coast, from Australia. People from all over, actually, probably the world, globally, people are watching this. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I mean, tell me about. I mean, you yourself said he received more time than the prosecution had even asked for.
Yeah.
How do you try to cope with that?
Yeah, good question. I'll have to sit down and think about that. Right now, I'm a little worried. They've allowed me to go out to Pahrump to go and visit my husband via video. That's how they visit out there. So I get to go sit in front of him and talk to him.
And you did have an exchange.
We did.
With your husband there towards the end. I mean, what did you tell each other? I mean,
well, we love each other. Yeah, it's I think it's a pretty big travesty of justice, but other people have other opinions, and obviously the judge has a different opinion. I think we're just going to be irreconcilably different in our worldviews.
And why did your husband originally sign that plea deal?
There were other people involved who were being harassed and threatened by the FBI. With extradition, with possible indictment, and some of those people, are near and dear to us, and we fear for their health and their safety. And so I think Jerry sort of took the fall for that. There's no animosity, no regret even for that. I don't believe. So I think we are the people we are.
And what was the cause for him to try to change that plea?
Because he's innocent. I actually have a transcript with me where he asked the judge in the transcripts, the original plea agreement, sent that part of it, and he had said, well, if I perjure myself, if I sign this and I'm not being truthful when I sign it, isn't that perjury, and isn't that against the law? And she said it's not. It's more complicated than that. When you break the law, I guess it is more complicated. After seeing what just went on in the courtroom, I would think that perjury is breaking the law, and he was concerned about that as well. Funny, he'd be concerned about breaking the law, huh?
And why wouldn't the court allow him to change his plea? And do you think there's a fundamental problem there with our justice system?
I think that there is a fundamental problem with the justice system. I think there are a lot of problems in government altogether. I mean, I was in the legislature for 2 terms in New Hampshire. And they say in New Hampshire, every next door neighbor has been a representative because there are 400 of us in the House. But the lawmaking is complicated, and it's always it's very, very rarely bipartisan anymore. It's very partisan, and we have some really diametrically opposed opinions, and it's really hard to herd the cats and get everybody to get on the same page and agree for the laws. So it's tough.
Yeah. How did Jerry get involved in this with the Bundys, and how did that happen?
Well, I think that's easily researched. I mean, we called up Mr. Bundy and asked him, what he needed, if they were safe, and what was going on. And Mr. Bundy felt threatened, and as if his family were going to be possibility of having snipers shoot at the family. And Jerry didn't want to see bloodshed, and he decided to go out and stand in the gap.
And any regrets for what happened up to now?
I think I'm gonna withhold my statement on that right now. Simply because we may be appealing, so I'm not sure what my best words would be at this point.
Okay, and what's it going to be like for you without him?
Oh my God, it's horrible. It's been horrible for over a year. My mother fell on Wednesday and broke her hip. She's 86. She's got terrible dementia. The Obamacare has made it so that she's had to stay 3 nights in the hospital, but no more than that. And then they transfer her, painful, shocked, confused, injured, and full big surgery, possibility of pulmonary emboli, and had to move her to a nursing facility where they're going to have to keep her for a recommended period of time before we move her again. And they're trying to PT her and get her out of there. I'm still dealing with that as well. I haven't even spoken to the rehabilitation center yet today to find out how she's doing. And they're understaffed too.
And we heard in court you had an anniversary that you celebrated.
Yes, we just had a 13th anniversary, and I have been with that man side by side with him for 15 years, and he has never raised a hand. Believe me, I've been married to I've had 3 marriages, and the first 2 were no cakewalk, and let's just put it politely. And this marriage has been absolutely wonderful. Jerry he's honest, he's truthful, he means what he says, he stands up for people. People ask us to help, and we help in every way, in any way we can. And Jerry is that kind of guy. I don't even know, maybe we've had a couple of fights, but I'm some bullhead too, So it's been a marriage, but a very, very wonderful one. And I have not seen him violent in any way, really, toward anyone. We go through the channels. That's why I became a state representative. Because we're interested in working with the government, through the government, not against the government.
Jerry has said that he's described the people out there and what happened on the Bundy Ranch, some of them as heroic. Do you feel that those actions were heroic?
I think I do. Yeah. I think that it's brotherly love and kindness and respect and dignity. And I think that that's what we need to afford all of the people. And I think that many people have been heroic in their stand for freedom and justice and the American way.
And so your thoughts on the FBI posing as documentarians?
Oh my word. Sorry to respond like that. Well, I think it's entrapment. I think it's just clear, plain entrapment by the government, doing everything possible. They at one point, my husband and I had been having a conversation on the phone while he was in Pahrump, and we spoke about one of our friends, and they took that recording and brought it to our friend and said, "That's your friend. Turn against him. Witness against him." And of course our friend didn't, because we're friends. And we love each other. And we respect each other. And we have dignity and respect. And we're human. Everything that Jerry said in that courtroom. We're like 2 peas in a pod, so pretty much what he said, you can pretty much guess that's going to be my stance too. And not because I just follow the leader, it's because it's in my heart.
Talk about the grassroots efforts to get the court to have a hearing to toss that plea agreement. I mean, talk about that today.
Oh, there's been so much support. We have so many people who love Jerry and respect him. Back in New Hampshire, as I said, we had hundreds of letters. We had petitions. We had over 60 New Hampshire state legislators sign a petition at first when he came out, to see if we could get even a sentencing hearing. He's had very few hearings, and I think that the first attorney that was assigned to him by the court system was working against us. He didn't file in a timely manner. I kept sending letters out to him, petitions. People were sending, letters of support and recommendation for him. He never intended on going to the court with them. And they languished and died and didn't do any good. Now we've had lots of people send more letters, many more people sending letters. I don't know if all the letters that were sent got into evidence. But every single one of them is a letter in support of Jerry. And I've lived with him side by side. Believe me, I'm no pushover. And he's been the most wonderful man I've ever met in my whole life.
And you have a picture of him around your neck.
I do.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. Well, there's a company that produces these necklaces, and so I took a bunch of different pictures, and I ordered a bunch of them, and I have a whole bunch of pictures of Jerry, and I wear him because when you look at me, you see him too.
Is that a way for you to kind of keep him close to you while he's away?
Absolutely. We're always close.
What stood out to you about what he said in court? What words stood out to you?
I don't know if I can pick just a couple of words that stood out to me. Everything he says to me is great. I love hearing what he has to say. I think he's a man's man. He's an honest man. He does stand. There's a little saying that says it matters how you stand. Well, it really does matter how you stand, and I love the way he stands. And I stand with him.
And just to clarify, just so we have this right, his original reason for that plea agreement in the first place, can you talk about that?
That was just to avert attention, to draw fire. And it worked. All the fire stopped after he took the plea.
What do you mean?
Well, the pressuring, the cajoling, the harassment by the FBI stopped completely.
Anything else you want to add?
Yes, but I won't.
One more thing. The judge seemed surprised that Jerry may have thought that the feds would actually shoot the Bundys and his family. What do you think of her kind of making that statement in there?
I think if we ignore history, it repeats itself. There is historical proof that citizens can be in danger. And I don't know if she's taking that into account.
Thank you so much.
You want to hold this for me?
Okay, guys, we're going to walk over here where it's a little quieter.
Okay.
I hope you guys could hear us a little bit there. That was Jerry DeLemus' wife. We're down here in front of the Las Vegas Federal Courthouse. We're just moments after the sentencing for Jerry DeLemus. The prosecutors, they asked for 72 months in this case with the plea deal. And the judge ended up giving Jerry DeLemus 87 months. She extended that time and she gave him more. She said that she did not see him remorseful or sorry for his actions. Even with his plea deal and him signing a plea deal months ago and agreeing that he would take this plea deal just to get this over with and agreed to 72 months with the prosecutor, the judge attached more time on his sentence instead. She also made some stipulations to his plea deal, such as he could not have no contact with any co-conspirators or conspirators in this case at all. during or after his prison sentence. He will have 3 years of probation afterwards, or parole, and she did waive all the fines. She said it was not financially, he was not able to pay this, and she gave him the minimum on that, which was $100 per count. She gave him 60 months on count 1 and 27 months on count 2, a total of 87 months. She several things that were brought up here. One thing I noticed by sitting in court, there's no way this judge can continue being the judge on the rest of these defendants' case. She proved her bias. She proved that she believes in her own mind that these men are all guilty at this point. She made it clear multiple times by telling him she does not believe that he's remorseful, he's sorry for his actions, and that she believed herself that the law enforcement in this case are victims, that the BLM, Fish and Wildlife, and the Metro PD are all victims, and he does not take responsibility for that. So that's why she imposed more time on his sentence than was recommended even by the prosecutor. This shows you right here, if you're making if you're taking a plea deal, the judge does not have to accept that. She did not accept that. She added more time on that, and Jerry thought that he would get just the 72 months or less. The judge bashed Jerry very harshly in this case. She admitted that there was dozens and dozens of letters from sheriffs, other politicians, governors and senators and politicians and friends across this country. But she bashed him and said that even his own family hated him, that his own children hated him, when that was not even true. Jerry's lawyer brought it up and said 3 of his children really love him. There's 2 of them out of the 5 that disagree with him. She went on and said that he came there with a 50 cal machine gun. The lawyer again corrected the judge and said it was not a machine gun, Your Honor. He did bring his guns, but it was not a machine gun. This judge obviously does not know the difference between a regular gun and a machine gun, and she's judging him with these facts, with lies. And she also made a statement that he cannot see his grandchildren. She put that in his plea agreement, that he's barred from seeing them. Let me bring some more notes here. She told him at the very end there that, and I'll get to that, she says, you have actually become the one you say you are fighting against, a bully and a tyrant, Mr. DeLemus. And that's when she said, I'm going to impose an 87-month sentence on you instead of the recommended 72 months. Today we see, again, the abuse of the government, how they abuse you, how the prosecutors recommend a sentence, and even the judge herself has condemned these men, all 19 of these men, before they've even had a trial. That's why they have denied bail. She has convicted them. They are sitting here as convicted men. There is no justice in this system, as we can see right now. Our only hope is in God and this jury, that we can get an honest jury. And last time we see how the government weaseled their way in, convinced the jury to take off a guilty verdict, a not guilty verdict, and turn it into no verdict at all and become a hung jury. They will fight at anything possible to get what they want. And that has been proven today again. And it's a sad day for America. It's a sad day for our rights. If you want your rights, they are gone. There's no time like the day to start standing up for our rights and speaking out, because they're going to be gone when we wake up tomorrow if we continue letting this happen. Let me go through some more notes and make sure I'm not missing anything. She said she also told Mr. Loomis, you have been blinded, and that you never tried to tell Mr. Bundy just to pay up, like it was Mr. Bundy's job to pay up. This judge was worried about the money all along, and she has already convicted them and Mr. Bundy had never been arrested. He was in court battle with this. but she told him, "You never told Mr. Bundy to pay up." And that's
exactly right.
what came down today, and what ultimately convicted Jerry was this judge agreeing with the prosecutor and convicting these men without even going to a trial. Jerry is serving more time than even was recommended by the prosecutor. I'm going to go on the Redoubt News page in a little bit, and I'm going to try to regroup, get my thoughts together a little bit more. And so if you want to go to Redoubt News shortly, I'm going to report for them, get my notes collected a little better, and go over word for word of what a lot happened today. But again, we're down here at the Las Vegas Federal Courthouse. Thanks for joining us. Camp Liberty's still going till about Sunday. We're going to go back out to camp here shortly, and we still have about a dozen plus people out there, and more people coming. But it's a sad day for America today. Keep praying for us, and God bless you. Thank you for all your support.